Hello, welcome back to KXAN Live. Thanks for joining us. I'm Esmeralda Zamora, and today we have our new segment, Tommy's Travel Forecast with meteorologist Tommy House. Tommy, thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? It's the second half of the weekend. Nice and sunny for the most part.
For the most part, this morning was a little gloomy, but
Yeah.
it's good weather overall.
Yeah, a little humid, but honestly, I don't mind the 80s that bad. It's
Yeah.
not that bad.
Before we jump into it, I want you to remind our viewers what Tommy's travel forecast is and how this show is going to be going moving forward.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone watching this here on this Sunday afternoon. It varies by the week. For the most part, it's big pictures. So our team of meteorologists, we're watching the forecast very closely for the 15 counties that we cover in Central Texas. This is big picture. We know a lot of people are flying in and out. Bergstrom is busy this time of year. There's people flying to California, East Coast, all the way up to the Midwest. So I try to cover as much as I can. And then we just talk about the graphics here and look ahead to the big picture of how things are going to play out through the next few days. If there is some sort of local impact, like for this evening, we have a relatively low-end severe weather threat. We're going to focus as well on the Texas forecast, but I'm also going to talk about different portions in areas of the country as well.
Yeah, it's a big range of map that you have to cover, but it's very helpful for everyone coming in and out of Austin. Like you mentioned, we have travelers all time of year here. But let's jump into it. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we had some clouds this morning. There was a lot of moisture building in out of the Gulf, so that's why we had just the gray sky to start off the Sunday. And we're seeing a little bit of sunshine toward the afternoon hours. So on clouds and radar, you can see in Central Texas, there's a mix of some partly cloudy conditions and a little bit of some showers across the Houston metro and Louisiana. A lot of sun, especially during the afternoon before a severe weather event, can increase and build instability, which is thunderstorm fuel. So often you're going to be seeing with a lot of scattered showers and storms during the afternoon, you typically need a lot of that thunderstorm fuel available. So therefore, nothing too big on the radar right now, just a little bit of some shower activity toward the Midwest. But through the next few hours, we're going to be watching a few different things from Austin, Texas, all the way east and north to Nashville and Memphis and Louisiana and Arkansas and Alabama. So this is the severe storm threat for today by the Storm Prediction Center. We have a level 2 out of 5 risk, so that is going to be called a slight risk by the Storm Prediction Center. This goes from our area in Austin all the way up to the north and east, Tyler, Texas, east of Dallas-Fort Worth through Shreveport, Louisiana, Greenville, Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee. This is not nearly as powerful or strong or intense as the storms that we were tracking across the Deep South last week on Tommy Talks Weather. You recall all those storm reports that took about 20 minutes to go over. But still, nonetheless, we know that March is a very stormy season here in Central Texas, and we're starting to begin to enter this hopefully rainy season. And typically, March brings several big storms here, but it's been rather dry. So we're hoping we can squeeze as much rain out of this as possible.
Yeah, Tommy, what does this rain or this chance of rain that we may see here tonight mean for our wildfire risk?
Yeah, so overall, relatively not nearly as high through the next few days for a wildfire risk. Our drought, we have a level 4 out of 4, exceptional. That's the worst you can get for several counties. That includes western Travis County as well, down toward Gillespie County. So if we can get 1 to 2 inches of rain out of this through the evening and overnight hours, that's a win. And I'll show you toward the end of this travel forecast, a lot of rain will continue to be locally here in Austin throughout our 7 days through the later half of the work week. So that is a good step in the right direction. Here's how it's going to play out through the next few hours. This is at 7 p.m. this evening. Essentially, the big picture is there's going to be a cold front that I just drew there with the white line. It's going to be very slow moving south and east, and ahead of it there are a few storms with some instability. There's that fuel I was talking to you about, and that instability is building in from the Gulf. So that's why we're seeing anywhere from Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way down to Austin, Texas here. And this will progress through the rest of the evening hours and overnight. So playing this out through 8, 9, 10 o'clock. By 10, a lot of this is still in Central Texas. So during our 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock local newscasts, I'm sure we'll be talking about some storms that are going to be on the radar. This continues east north of Houston across Louisiana by 10. And then through the remainder of the overnight hours, the severe threat drops off pretty substantially and clears out of the Austin metro area, probably somewhere around 10, 11, and 12 o'clock. And then by early Monday morning, it's just going to be sunny here in central Texas.
That's awesome. On your article, I noticed that there's going to be some areas in the country that are going to be seeing snow.
Yes.
What areas are those?
Yeah, absolutely. So essentially, when you have a front move through like this, farther up north across the northern plains and Midwest, you are going to be talking about some snow. Here in Texas, obviously for Monday, that front is going to be well to the south and east. So maybe a little bit of light showers. Most of this is probably between, let's say, 2 a.m. and 5, 6 a.m. on Monday. But farther up north and east, as you mentioned, toward the New England area and Midwest, you can see some pockets of heavy snow up there. I got a few friends who are meteorologists in New Hampshire, and they're forecasting up to 6 inches of snow for the mountains and ski resorts. Yeah, right. Imagine skiing in the almost now 4th week of March. So very busy and cold up there. These fronts will bring some light shower activity all the way down south through Georgia and the Carolinas and Florida. They've had a lot more rain than we have had, so I'm a little bit jealous of that. And then behind the front, we're just going to have some drier conditions built in. Not nearly as gusty, so the wildfire concern isn't as strong as it was. I don't know if you remember last Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday where it was extreme here. So I don't anticipate that at the moment. But the first half of the work week's quiet. Second half will be stormy and rainy here in the Southern Plains.
So you said the second half is going to be stormy and rainy. Exactly how much are we expecting?
Yeah, so computer models are having a hard time with the exact number. I can give a range. I would say definitely a few inches of rain here. And when I mean here, it doesn't necessarily mean exactly pinpointed in downtown Austin, but big picture across the Lone Star State. We're finally going to be seeing this pattern change that is well-deserved. Only 2 days of rainfall measured at Camp Mabry in Austin. So just like I said, by Tuesday, fairly quiet still. That front that's going to be moving through is now off the coast toward the Atlantic. Maybe some scattered showers down toward Miami. Could get a little bit of some light snow showers in the Midwest and northern New England. But all through the central states, I mean, things are fairly calm and quiet, and that's going to be the case Tuesday into Wednesday itself. By Wednesday, a few different things are going to begin to happen. We're going to see our next low pressure system bringing a lot of moisture farther out west toward the Pacific Northwest area. This includes Oregon, Washington, and San Francisco. So flying out west, I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday may be a little bit unsettled, especially up towards Seattle. But through Dallas and down toward Austin in the deep south, a few rounds of showers and thunderstorms will return to our forecast locally.
Wow. So there's a lot going on throughout the entire map, pretty much, as we heard. Is it difficult, because you mentioned we're going to see rain Thursday, how difficult is it to find out how much rain we're going to see that far out? Yeah,
I mean, it depends on a few different factors. So a very slow-moving low-pressure system, like what I think we're going to be dealing with on Thursday and Friday, it'll stick around for a while here across Texas. Typically, like, for example, tonight, a front moves through, get a few rounds of showers and storms, and then it clears out pretty quickly. What I think we're going to see here by Thursday is a low-pressure system develop somewhere down toward the valley and into the Gulf, and that's going to take its time and move eastward. And as it does, it's going to have the opportunity to kick up multiple inches of rain through our area. So this is Thursday. Also want to point out, by Thursday, there's our next storm system that's beginning to approach Northern California and Washington. So this conveyor belt of unsettled weather will be continuing. Right, exactly. And then by Friday, see that surface low is still taking its time in Texas down toward the valley. That's the darkest green shading, which means probably a few inches of rain along the immediate coastline of the Gulf down toward Brownsville. Central Texas could get some additional rain Thursday into Friday up toward Dallas-Fort Worth. And then that next low pressure is moving across the Rockies, will most likely amplify. And could that bring more rain for us next weekend? That's the big question. And while that's happening, the Midwest and Northeast is getting some more additional snowfall for the mountains there. So it's going to be quiet for a few days to kick off the start of the work week. And then by the end, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, hopefully we can have the umbrellas and rain jackets close by for at least 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, it feels like spring already. We're getting that rain here in Central Texas that we've needed for such a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wrote up this article on our website, kxan.com. Right now, it is on our homepage. What can viewers expect to read on this article?
Yeah, so we have our severe weather threat big picture that I showed you there. So if you have friends and family through Louisiana and Mississippi, you can just send that to them and say, hey, just be on the lookout. Very low wind. I mean, the biggest concern here is large hail or damage and winds. I don't expect any sort of tornadoes in central Texas. A few rotating cells could be possible along this cold front. That's probably farther east through Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. And then it has just an explainer of what's going to be happening through the work week. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I say, hey, just a heads up, could be seeing a few active days of some showers and thunderstorms here locally, but also through Texas. I know it takes 12 hours to drive from the valley to the panhandle, so it's a lot to cover there as well. Hopefully, this rainy trend will continue, and I do want to end with this, though, real quickly. This is the precipitation outlooks. We'll wrap this up. Clouds and radar through the next few days, just to show you what's going to be happening. By Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday, fairly calm, and then there's the low pressure system up toward the northwest, as well as the surface low in Texas. Thursday into Friday, look, still rain for Dallas, Waco, Austin, Houston, and even into Saturday afternoon, we could be seeing some clouds and showers in the morning. And then by Sunday, we have additional rain and snow moving into the northwest. So the Climate Prediction Center, they look at all the data that I have available, and they're saying wetter than normal conditions are expected. That's in the green contours that you see. This includes Texas, east to the Atlantic, the Northeast, Midwest, and California having the highest confidence there for some rain. The only drier than normal area is El Paso through Arizona and New Mexico, so it's going to be a lot more rain in the forecast and warmer temperatures. For us locally here in Austin, that's 80s and maybe 90s. So combination of warmer temperatures, available energy and moisture, this could mean severe weather returning again to Texas beyond just this evening, and we'll have updates for the next Tommy's travel forecast once that happens, which will be next Sunday.
Yes. I'm not sure if I asked you this. How much rain are we expecting tonight?
Yeah, tonight I would say up to an inch or 2 inches. If these storms are very slow moving on the cold front, they can just squeeze out a lot of moisture. And if it takes, an hour or two for that storm to move, we could be seeing localized areas of some flooding. But overall, it's not enough rain for anything too significant. But through the next 7 days, big picture, climatology, the trend is our friend. Again, going back to show you that this is the 6 to 10 day rainfall outlook, which is a promising sign. I can't think of the last time I've seen this much green or that wetter than normal confidence across much of the lower 48.
Well, thanks so much, Tommy, for joining us tonight or today on our Tommy's Travel Forecast. We're excited to see what weather we can expect for next weekend into the next week.
Yeah, and it's also another important thing to say is download our KXAN First Warning Weather app, because if we have any sort of lightning or warnings, I'll be watching them tonight, but it's good to have ways to get severe weather alerts if needed.
Yes, we're also available on any streaming platform. That's Roku, Apple TV, or Fire Stick. Download the KXAN Plus app, and you can keep track on there as well. Thanks so much, Tommy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.